Welcome to my quick start strumming course. Now I'm going to start with perhaps the most important lesson that many online guitar teachers do not teach you. When you start out learning guitar, you think that everything is based on learning new chords, new songs, new ideas. Maybe if I learn a scale, I'll start to sound more musical. Maybe if I can master this more intermediate fingerstyle song, then perhaps I'll start to sound more musical. And it's all about new ideas, okay? Now, in fairness, when you start learning and when you watch someone play guitar, it does look like this hand has a lot to do with it. There's a lot of movement. You see it going up and down the neck like this. And you think, wow, I've really got to be improving on that hand. And yes, it is important that the muscles develop and they grow in this hand. And you do need to learn how to do new things with this hand. But this is just 50% of it, okay? This hand, the right hand, is the most often overlooked side of learning guitars. This is the other 50%. Music is made up of melody, think of that, this hand, and rhythm, this hand, okay? So just by starting this course, you're gonna have the edge over many new guitarists because you're gonna be putting your rhythm first, straight away, okay? So I can't stress this enough, when I teach people one-to-one who have been self-taught for many years, it's their rhythm and feel that's the one thing that's not there. And why is that? Because internet guitar teachers don't always talk about it very much and they presume that you can do it, but mainly that those people haven't been playing with other people, playing with backing tracks or playing with metronomes, and that is what this course is going to give you that foundation of. Okay, so really excited. So I want to go into a bit more detail on that. So the first way to understand it is, if the rhythm is wrong in a song or the timing, then everybody will notice who's listening to you. Everyone will notice, because it doesn't matter if they're musicians or not. Let me give you an example. I'm going to change quite simply from an E chord to an A chord. Okay, the first time round I'm going to do it with my rhythm not quite there because I'm not ready for the chord. The second time round I'm going to do it slightly frayed, but with the chord slightly frayed but the rhythm there. So have a listen. Okay, and then the second time round, listen. Now, I'm not saying that both of those sound great, but what I am saying is, in the second version that I did, you could hear that although the chords weren't quite there, the beat stayed steady and it still sounds musical. So the really important thing I want you to understand is that while you are going to have to learn new chords, and I'm not saying you should be disregarding pushing down, building the muscles on this hand. But what I am saying is as humans, we don't like being wrong. So if we know the chord isn't right, we're going to stop this hand from doing the right thing. And you should have practices where you are just concentrating on keeping the beat going. And that's exactly what this course is going to do. And my bigger course, Natural Rhythm, which I'll tell you a little bit about very soon. So my first sort of very important lesson is, don't underestimate rhythm. Understand that this is 50% of what people are hearing, okay? So, and also that if the rhythm isn't there, it's much more noticeable, isn't it? The first time you heard it, you could hear, you were like, oh, you were sort of like, I call it the and then it goes, when people are going and then it goes, and it's really sort of, you're just on the edge of your seat going, just play it, just keep it in time. Whereas a lot of the time, I'm sure your chord is actually there. It's just that you're a little bit afraid to sort of just keep that beat going. And you're used to doing your practice pauses, I call them, which is where you sort of, you practiced in that rest within the song. So keep both hands moving at the same time. It's called being ambidextrous, and it's essentially what learning guitar is. So what we're going to be learning in this course, I'm just going to give you a little preview as well. I mean, that is a very important lesson in itself, so please understand that. Please put rhythm first when you're practicing. You're going to be learning how to strum securely, both with a plectrum, and we will have a look at fingers as well, and we'll be going into a bit of detail on how to do that. You'll learn how to start reading rhythm guitar music and down-ups within music. Now this is a very important skill, which I go into a lot more detail in Natural Rhythm, but this quick start course will give you an overview of it. And you'll be learning how, when you know there's just 16 choices that you can do with your strumming, it makes a big difference to your understanding of how the beat is put together. We'll learn 3 really incredibly versatile rhythm patterns that you can use in thousands of songs. And finally, we'll get into the most famous chord order, or chord progression as we call it, of all time, and then putting that with these rhythms so we've got something really concrete that we can work on with our timing. One other thing that you will need for this course is you will need a metronome to really make the most of it. Please don't be scared if you've ever heard that word before. Have another go at it with this course with a clean slate, with a fresh start. I'm going to be showing you how to learn to love your metronome and how it is a very important tool to making you sound musical even at beginners levels. So I hope by completing this mini course you'll see not only the importance of rhythm and timing, but you'll start to actually feel it and hear it in your playing. Well done on this first lesson. Let's go into our next practical lesson.